What is going on, chat? What's going on, chat? How you guys doing? Good to see everybody. What is going on, chat? What's going on, chat? How you guys doing? Good to see everybody. Wait a minute. Why am I hearing myself here? What's going on, guys? Hey, can you guys hear double? I wonder where this is connected to. No double? Okay, good. Huh. All right, what is going on? Nandita, Robert, Nardos, Chichamus. All right, what is going on? Nandita, Robert, Nardos, Chichamus. What's going on, guys? Audio and camera both good. All right, good. We have big news at 10. Jasmine, what's going on? Athos, Favi, Mike, what's going on, guys? Let me just announce this real quick. Live now. For all the lazy ass people in the back that want to join late. Oh my God, I can't type. There, live now. Cool. So today we have, here's the calendar. We have PMI and consumer sentiment, both of them at 10 a.m. So technically one's at 9:45, but we have a good 40 minutes. Now, you can take a trade before then, okay? You just don't want to be in a trade during then because you're going to see basically you're going to see wicks up and down like this during the news, right? So you can take a trade before then. It's fine. You just don't want to take it. You just don't want to be in a trade while it's going on, right? Buenos dias. What's going on? Troy, Gurmeet, Soner, Sanketh, Carlos, me, and Pim. WBD stock is really sold off. I have no idea what that is. Good morning, Z. Maganda umaga. In Filipino. You mean Tagalog. What's going on, T Squarehead? Stock Mo once encouraged us to take a trade during the news. Shut the freak up. Cybertruck, Sabajo, what's going on? Fed speakers right after PMI. Yes, but it's not considered red folder news, but you're right. At 10:15 we have Waller, and you might as well wait for that. Who's your soccer team? A national team, Brazil club team, Barcelona. Even though the days of legend are over. All right, here's what I'm looking at in terms of the markets. So on the high time frame, it's amazing that we hit all-time highs overnight. So you can see that we hit all-time highs right here and breached the highs that we saw back in February 12th, which was a high, and then Friday, February 23rd, last week, we made a new high, and then overnight, we just made a high. Now, I don't like that this came overnight. I would have liked it to come now during the day, but the fact that it made it overnight means that there's a possibility that this right here is liquidity, right? That's the meaning is that this right here, it's possible that we took the high already, right? Is the sound on? No, I'm just lip syncing. Yes, there's a possibility that we took liquidity overnight, right? So with that said, you can front run a trade here. It is risky, but you can front run a trade before news here. And by front run, I would mean this would be a potential short. I don't know that you could play this for a broad. So let's take a look at the liquidity story, okay? Here's essentially what happened. We had last week, right? We had a high. This is NASDAQ, okay? I'll go over S&P too. Last week we had a high, and then we traded this week below that range, right? And we yesterday took out the high of the week. This right here was the high of the week. And then we retraced below to grab some more liquidity from this imbalance, right? And this was the end of day yesterday. So the end of day yesterday, and then including the overnight session. So it rallied off of this liquidity, and now we took a new high on the NASDAQ, right? Now, what's crazy is that on the way down, if we were immediately bullish, you would expect us to react from this, okay? So we came down and completely ignored this huge imbalance here, right? You could see yesterday that the market wanted all this liquidity to run up. This morning, during London session, we took the high of the day and then dropped all the way below and ignored this and are now retesting it. So right here, you have an inverse gap and a fair value gap, right? You have the regular fair value gap here, and you have the inverse fair value gap here. So we completely ignored it. So this cannot, if you're bullish, then you would have to think twice here, right? You would have to think twice here. So let's drop down to a lower time frame. All right, knowledge seeker, chill, bro. I'm gonna go over the S&P 500. Chill. So we drop below, and here you can see this is the imbalance. This is the 1 hour fair value gap, right? Which you can, a 1 hour inverse fair value gap here, right? And we are now trading into it. This is now the 15-minute. So that's why I say you can front run a short from here. You just would have to be conscious that news is coming out. So you would need a move to happen before news. And it would look, your 2-to-1 trade would look like this. I'm going to keep this up here, okay? So you can front run this. I personally I'm not in a rush. I can wait for the news at 10 a.m. to come out. On ES, what happened was slightly different. So remember on NQ, we took all-time highs overnight. On ES, the all-time high was still last Friday, right? No, this is the S&P 500. Now, what we know, your thoughts on Tesla, thoughts and prayers, Hugo. So we took the high on the S&P 500, right? Now, what we know about divergence is that if one of these takes liquidity, the other one doesn't have to, okay? If one of us takes liquidity, the other one doesn't have to. It depends, right? But it doesn't have to. So for instance, if the NASDAQ starts rolling over, ES doesn't have to come up here, grab this liquidity, and then start rolling over, right? Because NASDAQ already did it, and this would be called SMT divergence, which we already have on the higher time frame. So if you look here, you could see that between last week and today, you have a higher high. And on the S&P 500, between last week and today, you have a lower high. This is called bearish divergence, right? So in general, I like to short the weaker one and long the stronger one. So if there is a short here, I will likely short the S&P 500 on the strength that it hasn't yet grabbed. Now, what happened yesterday was very similar, actually. And we had NASDAQ. If you look at it yesterday, let me see. Hold on. This is the 4 hour. Sorry. Let me jump to the 1 hour. What happened yesterday was the NASDAQ grabbed its weekly high and the S&P 500 hadn't yet, okay? So if you look here, this right here is yesterday, and the weekly high was this, okay? And the NASDAQ grabbed the weekly high, and the S&P 500 didn't. And they both tanked intraday, right, after the NASDAQ grabbed that liquidity. But then eventually ES went to resolve it, right? Eventually ES went to resolve it. So what could happen here, and what I'm potentially looking at, obviously news barring, what I'm potentially looking at is, and the market opens in 3 minutes, by the way, guys. But what I'm potentially looking at is I'm looking for to see if the S&P 500 doesn't get up to that all-time high, which it doesn't look like it, and if this is the extent of its move, right? And same thing, the S&P 500. I might take a crack at a quick short here. Let me see. That scalp was already made. So I wanted to take a crack at a quick short off of this right here. This is the 1 hour IFVG. This box, right? So you would take a crack at a short right there, and this would have given you, a good 7 points, which is 350 per contract on ES. Right now we are creeping back up into it. I'm not interested in shorting it right now on the way up. Now the other thing we have to look at is what do these lows represent, right? So this low right here, what does that represent? This low represents it took out, this is actually not a major low that it took out. This is just internal liquidity. So what I could see happening is, we took internal liquidity. This is not a major low. This is not like low of the day or anything, right? It's not even one of the lowest points of yesterday. It's just a low. And we took liquidity below that, came back up. What I could see happen is us drilling into this 1 hour fair value gap, maybe mitigating it completely. So that's a 1 hour IFVG, but the fair value gap, Yeah, what I could see happening is us taking this liquidity and then coming up into an imbalance up here. So you do have a bunch of imbalances, right? Like on the lower time frames. You do have this. You have obviously this order block that we haven't gotten out of yet, right? What I can see as happening is that, and then a potential for further drop. But this is why I don't want to be in a trade during news, right? because news will determine if intraday, if we want to grab more liquidity up here, or if we're ready to go to sell side, right? In which case I would target this level and this level. So far it's respecting this order block on ES. Don't tell me that AMC went to 394. I have no idea what you're talking about. Super strong candle at the open. The market just opened. Guys, there's 700 of you here, 94 likes. Come on, guys. Hit that thumbs up. This is embarrassing. That's like utterly embarrassing, actually. If you want me to keep doing this free education, just hit the thumbs up. That's all it's going to cost you. That's all it's going to cost you, my friends. Yeah, this is London High, exactly. Both ES and NQ made their highs during London. Yes. So not entering a trade just yet. And being that we're so close to news, I don't know that I'll be able to enter a solid trade before the news comes out. All right, so it's getting really interesting between the Bitcoin miners. Yesterday I was saying that once you get to negative correlation, right, with Bitcoin, and it's negative correlation in the sense that the miners are going down while Bitcoin is going up, not the other inverse correlation where the miners are going up while Bitcoin is going down, right? That's the point at which you want to long the miners. What is the 10 a.m. news, guys? I said it at the beginning, bro. It's right here. Consumer sentiment and PMI. So this is going to get really interesting here. Now, intraday, so if you look at the 4 hour, I would at least need it to be decoupled on the 4 hour, but most likely on the day. So on the day, if you look at these Bitcoin miners, so Mara, CLSK, Riots, and these are great to run the wheel strategy on, by the way, selling puts and then selling calls if you get assigned, because they're all fairly cheap, right? Like Riot is the most decoupled so far, but I'm gonna wait until it gets decoupled and almost oversold, because I think Bitcoin right now could see a little bit of a pullback. I think Bitcoin could see a little bit of a pullback. I think it will get to that 68,000, obviously. But I think it could see a tiny bit of a pullback here. I mean, maybe to 60, 59-ish. So at that point, you want to be ready with the miners. My first wheel on Mara, but I don't know how long I should roll the CC. I mean, that's up to you, man. If you wanna get your shares called for profit, then keep it as is. If you want to collect more premium, then roll it. All right, I want to take a look at gold and oil. I want to take a look at gold and oil. I think that if you look at Dixie, right, this is what's so tough about gold's direction. Like, to me, gold is still in a buy program. It's clearly on the 4-hour making higher highs and higher lows, right? But right now we hit a potential roadblock here with this 4-hour fair value gap, which we will likely see a little bit of a rejection here. But the trick is with gold, because it is kind of an ugly chart, you can't really trade it without looking at the dollar, right? So if you take a look at the dollar and it's making higher highs and higher lows on the daily, you need the dollar to hit a roadblock as well. Now, on the higher time frame, what's good news, and this is what I was pointing out earlier, is that the dollar actually hit the monthly fair value gap and we rejected off of it, and now we're coming up into this monthly fair value gap, right? And now this is the new month. Happy March, by the way. So if the dollar can roll over here, which is very possible, if the dollar can roll over here, then I think gold actually gets a boost from this. So I'm going to be looking at the dollar intently. But in general, I mean, I think gold is on its upward trajectory until it gets to close to 2,100. Will you enter the TV trading competition? No idea what that is. What is a TV trading competition? Bro, I always appreciate your work. I appreciate you, knowledge seeker. All right, let's take a look at Apple real quick. Wow, for the amount of crying that I saw in the chat about Apple, and it's down 0.35%. You guys are hyperbolic, man. You guys are hyperbolic. I expected to look at Apple and see it like tanking. It's just flat. So here's what I'm looking at in terms of buys, right? I like Apple for dollar cost average, 10% down at the 50% retracement. Google, right? I think this is an overreaction due to their AI being, apparently their AI search was kind of, I don't know, the people like to use the term woke, but apparently it was, let's just say, culturally inaccurate, right? So people were doing all kinds of searches like, show me a man from Sweden, and it would pull up someone who you wouldn't think would be, I don't know, I guess ethnically Swedish. And the internet loves to run with this and create a big hoopla, right? But obviously, like, Google, if there is an issue, and I personally haven't looked into it, I'm just reading news stories, right? So if there is an issue, obviously Google is going to mitigate that quickly, and I have no concern about them being a leader in AI. I mean, they own the two most powerful search engines in the world, right? Like, they know what they're doing. So, you know, I think that this overreaction, 10% drop, 50% retracement, I think it's good for a dollar cost average. I personally would just dollar cost average. I don't think this is like the bottom or whatever, right? Google AI would have said you were Indian. You're a fool. See. Holy moly. Wait a minute. This wasn't the 1 hour IFVG. This was. This right here was an order block. Wow. This is what I was saying. I think this is internal liquidity running up into some sort of imbalance up here before going down. Where are you actually from? I know you're a Habibi. Oh my God. See, this is exactly what I thought would potentially happen. I just didn't know where we would get rejected from. And we have news in 3 minutes, so I'm not trying to be in this. This will likely just spike up and down here, but we rejected off of that order block up here. You know what's wild is if you did take this trade off of the inverse fair value gap, I like looking at this sometimes after the fact because it helps me with future trades. And you put your stop limit above the candle that created the inverse fair value gap, you still would be good here. I'm not taking this trade, FYI. News is coming up soon, so I'm not taking this trade. Persia? I look Persian to you? For real? That's wild. My guess is Turkey. No and no. Z loves that curry. Yes, I love curry. You are a Habibinite? No, I'm not from Persia, but I do like Iran is on my bucket list. There's so much about Iran that I want to see. And there's a lot that I want to eat. Persian kebab is actually my favorite one. Pause. But Persian kebab is actually my favorite version. I think they do it better than anyone, better than the Turkish, better than the Arabs. Fernando Partida says, God spilled the spices when he created maybe, bro. Maybe. I don't trade that often. Do you have a service that could fit me? Love your pre-market trading videos. If you don't trade, man, then honestly, like I'm probably not for you. Have to be honest, bro. Like, yes, I go over long-term stock buys, I go over option selling, etc. But let me see. I'll show you. Here, I'll show you exactly what's in here, and then you can make your own determination. But, I do go over long-term stock buys, obviously options, futures, day trades, option selling. And then, the futures, day trades, etc. So, it's not, it is a trading and investing community, but it's not solely focused on investing. Like, it is very trade heavy. It's very trade heavy. So, I would say, like, I appreciate the view and the watch, and I appreciate the feedback, but that's like going to a fucking cake maker and saying, I don't eat cake. I really, really like donuts. Do you have anything for me? And I guess a cake maker can make you donuts, but it's not primarily what you're looking for. So, all right, news drop in. Wait, is there a news drop in at 45? Because here it says both of them are at 10. Manufacturing PMI and consumer sentiment. How do you think Tradidic's bullseye plays are? I don't know. I, bro, trading is not easy, okay? So people want a quick fix, right? People are like, what is the indicator that will tell me when to buy and sell? What is the indicator that will give me plays? Like, there's no such thing. There is nothing on this planet that will make you profitable besides your own effort and your own brain. That is it. You can find things that help, right? If there's data that you like to look for that helps support your thesis, if there are people that are good traders that are your mentors, that stuff can help. But there's nothing, absolutely nothing on planet Earth that will give you trades and make you profitable. Nothing like that exists. So looking for that is moot, to be honest. Right? Like, if it was that easy, why would anyone have jobs? They would just open up a bot and then have at it. Like, why would anyone have jobs? No one wants to work, right? Like, no one wants to work manual labor. Oh, that short would have worked, bro. It's not Turkish or Greek. It's called Balkan food. Ottomans conquered us 600 years ago and kept us for 500. So have their own food mixed together. Bro, do you know how many communities the Turkish or the Ottoman Empire conquered? You really think that za'atar and olive oil and falafel, you think that stuff comes from the Balkans? Come on, bro. Of course, I think the Turks did take stuff from wherever they went. Maybe some ways of grilling meats or whatever. But you really think all of those Mediterranean-based ingredients came from the Balkans, where it can't even grow? Come on, bro. What are your thoughts about AI taking over the role of stock analysis? I don't think there's a takeover. I think that it will dominate. There will be, obviously, continuously, just like in every industry, there will be races to dominate the trading data space. But yeah, I don't think that, not in our lifetime. I don't think we'll get to a point where there are no personal biases. Greece is the original Dawn. No, Greece has a lot of great things. People don't even know, man. People don't even know, right? Like, the people want to claim everything. Here, for instance, right? The best tomatoes I ever tried in my life are in Greece. For sure, for sure. So obviously, Greek people are going to be like, "Hey, we created Greek salad." Do you know where tomatoes came from? Do you know where tomatoes came from? I bet you nobody knows where tomatoes came from. The word tomato isn't even, it's not Spanish, it's not Latin, it's not Greek. Tomato is actually an Aztec word, right? Tomatoes came from here, came from North America. And the Spanish, when they conquered the Native Americans, they saw tomatoes and they used the Aztec word for tomato, and they brought it back and inherited it into their Latin language. And that's how tomatoes made it over to the Mediterranean. So no, Greeks were not eating tomatoes before the Spanish came here and took it from the Aztecs. Hummus, baba ganoush. Those aren't even Greek words. The word hummus literally means to pound in Arabic, or pounded. All right. News. Come for the trading, stay for the history. And yes, Agnilio, you're right. It's Nahuatl language, specifically the word tomatl. Z's not only a traveling trader, he's a traveling historian. Heading to Barcelona and San Sebastian next week. Oh man, you're gonna have a lot of fun, bro. You're gonna have a lot of fun. I will say this very controversially, Los Breezy, very controversially, and shout out to all my people from Spain. Overrated food, bro. Spain has overrated food. It's not great. It's not great. There are a lot of great places to eat, but it's not like in Italy where you could just walk into any spot, like literally any spot, no matter how big, how small. You could just go in blindfolded and have the best meal of your life in Italy. Spain is not like that, bro. But you will have a good time. Just got back from Sicily. All right, Germany. Sicily has one of the best cuisines of all time. RTY came above. RTY just made a new weekly high. Took liquidity above a new weekly high. I'm trying to see what the news was. It's still printing here. 6 minutes. 6 minutes. 6 minutes. 6 minutes, doggy dog, your own. Sicilian pizza is not great, bro. Napolitana pizza is where it's at. Sicilian pizza is not great, but the seafood and the pasta, especially if you get some like bucciate, is freaking amazing, especially when it's drowned in the sauce that the lobster was cooking in. Oof. 5 minutes. We'll be in Egypt next month. How's the food there? You got to be careful where you eat, and probably breakfast is the best meal in Egypt by far. So make sure you eat a heavy breakfast, right? You have food, falafel. It's really good. It's really good. But breakfast is what they're known for. Right now, I'm leaning short on RTY, but news comes out in 5 minutes. What? Manufacturing PMI was at 245. What do you mean 245? Michelle, what you talking about 245? $245. Oh, you must be on a different time zone. Best food is in Oregon. I mean, Portland is a good food city. I'll give it that. Sorry, UK time. Yes. You should check your news on TradingView. I don't. Yeah, but I mean, there's two pieces of news, so I'm not gonna trade off the 945. There's consumer sentiment coming up, which they're both red folder, right? So when you pull up a calendar, an economic calendar, the red folder news is what you're paying attention to. Portland has some bomb vegan spots. Oh, Los Breezy. You're a vegan, bro. That explains your food, your really out of whack food rankings. Come on, bro. You can't be a vegan rating food. Sorry. Right? And my girl's a vegetarian, so nothing against vegans or vegetarians. I'm just saying you can't really rate food if you have restrictions. Come on. All right. I want to see what Tesla's up to. So I think Tesla. Oh no, I don't like these equal lows. Let me see. Okay. So Tesla took out its pre-market low. I think Tesla has a chance to go to revisit 202 today, right here, and take out these equal highs from pre-market. So we consolidated, we manipulated down, took liquidity below pre-market low, and I think Tesla has a chance to obliterate these equal highs at 202. It's just this move here is not big enough for me to like buy a call option or whatever. But if you look at its low today and its low yesterday, it's at the exact same spot, which in reality I don't really like. I don't really like when I see equal lows because that to me says that there is a lot of liquidity below that, because a lot of people will try to long this, right? And there's a lot of resting sell orders down here in the form of stops. So I don't like that, but that's the 5th time visiting that low, is it? Oh, you're right, Flexen. You're 100% right. It was Wednesday. Oh, shit, bro. You're right. Thank you for that. Wednesday, Tuesday. And then this really started. This is a major level. And Monday, we bounced off it a lot. Holy shit. You're right, bro. Well, anyway, intraday, I think Tesla can come up to at least 202 and potentially breach it. And then from a higher time frame, I think that it already broke out. It's just basing at this level, right? So we got down to like 175 and we were basing between 195 and 175. And then we finally had a big push on the 15th and are now basing at a new level, right? We're basing in the low 200s. And I think at some point Tesla breaks out of this and has a rally. No one is talking about AQST. This is some spam shit, bro. Los Breezy says, I've chowed down on some jamón ibérico. Yeah? What did they make it out of? Mushrooms? To suit your vegan palate? I'm just messing with you, bro. Houthis have good food. Yemeni food is so fire, bro. Mendi is so good. Yemenis like to slow cook everything. All right, news is out. So that manipulation candle took out London on S&P. It took out the high. Come on. All right, data's out. ISM manufacturing PMI way lower than expected. Consumer sentiment lower than expected. So rate cuts look to be doing their thing again. Yesterday, unemployment came in higher than expected. Core PCE came in as expected, which is part of the reason the market went up. GDP was revised down. Consumer confidence, CB consumer confidence before that was revised, or what came in lower than expected. And then new home sales, which was insane. Where is that? Pending home sales was expected at plus 1.4%, came in at minus 4.9%. So with that said, it looks like rate cuts are working. And as I said before, this is kind of the dichotomy that you get when we start hitting these pre-recessionary levels, right? When we start hitting these pre-recessionary levels, the market is making highs and it rallies on bad news, right? Or news that the Fed might cut soon. But as we can see, right? Like if you look at this, the Fed rate hikes have already started to take a toll on, for instance, layoffs at big tech companies, et cetera. Now you can see home sales, unemployment claims are going up, and if they keep the rates there, that will put pressure on the economy, right? So the market is rallying because they see an end to the rate hikes, but the rate hikes at that level continue to put pressure on the economy, where it finally gets too big to ignore, and then the economy starts tanking. And obviously when the economy tanks, then companies' profit start tanking. And that's why you get this phenomenon where the stock market routinely hits all-time highs right before a recession. Rate cuts are working. No, I said rate hikes are working. If I said cuts, I apologize. Sultan, good job, bro. Your Meta investment is paying off. Meta hit 500. Good job, man. I'm really proud of you. Me and Sultan were not butting heads, but we were going back and forth on Meta. And I was saying that if they don't stop with their bullshit metaverse, and don't focus on their core businesses, that I think Meta is not going to be as valuable as it was. And then, all of a sudden you really stopped hearing about their metaverse and on earnings calls, right? And they stopped dumping crazy money into it, went back to their core businesses. Now they're still working on AI and shit, but it ended up going to 500, and he invested. I don't know. I can't remember what your price point was, Sultan, but he invested, I think, below 100, and it's now 500, and I didn't. So he reminded me of that conversation conveniently. But no, shout out to you, man. Good job on that. Been adding SQQQ each time. Why, bro? Why? Why would you add SQQQ each time NASDAQ makes a new high? That is not the way, dog. That is not the way. People don't understand SQQQ is an inverse ETF, right? There's a reason that if you go back, since it was created, SQQQ was at $518,000. Okay, obviously, it wasn't really 518,000. This is due to all of the reverse splits that SQQQ had to do, right? Because people buy it thinking it's just a regular stock. They have no idea how simple math on inverse ETFs work, and this is going to reverse split again and again and again and continue to decay. You don't buy and hold SQQQ. No way, bro. It's literally just for short-term hedges, right? Like if, for instance, there's a big earnings quarter, and you think that, NASDAQ companies are going to tank on earnings, then for that couple of weeks, you might hold SQQQ, but you don't buy and hold it. No way. All right, I think taking out London High, as I said, this to me was not the ultimate draw on liquidity on the sell side. I think what I'm saying is I think that the draw on liquidity is below. Yeah, I'm not interested in RTY right now. I'm not interested in this. What do you do with Tesla after the split? What do you mean? If you want to own Tesla, you can own it. The split has nothing to do with Tesla. New here, you know your stuff compared to so many YouTube traders. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. I just try to help you guys out. Yeah, even on the 1 minute, this looks crazy. We got to wait for this to base a little bit. But I personally, the way that I'm leaning right now, is fuck. I wish ES took its high like NQ did. No, I'm not in a position. VV. I haven't taken a position. Rob says, if it's clearly that bad, why wouldn't you put leaps on ultra short? All right. Because it's already baked in. Right? Like, people don't understand how options are priced. Options aren't priced. Options are priced on expected volatility, right? And known events. So when people say, for instance, you know, if stocks go down after X dividend, why don't you buy puts right before the X dividend, right? Like, you probably asked that question too. Why don't you buy puts before X dividend? Because it's already priced into the option. If you're wrong and NQ goes to all-time highs again, I'm not in a trade, math. I'm not in a trade. Like this, you cannot trade this. I'm not in a trade. So what I'm waiting for is I want to see what price does. And I think that ES at this rate, I think ES is targeting 51.2350, right? On SPX, that would be 51.11, and on the SPY, which that would be 508. No, sorry, 510. So I think ES gets to this level here, and then we'll assess the draw, right? ES currently in 15-minute FVG respecting. No, I think the draw on ES is up here. Whether there's a 15-minute FVG or not, it doesn't matter. I think the draw on liquidity trumps everything. It trumps fair value gaps. It trumps order blocks. It trumps everything. So we just crossed above London, and I might actually, if it delivers a nice retracement, I might long it to 51.2350. I think that's where it's going. VIX, yeah, VIX. Whoever's I can't remember who in the chat set was bringing up the VIX, but yes, if the VIX fills this gap and gets to 13, I will likely buy calls again. Probably dated for May. SMCI, I sent this out yesterday. Yep, SMCI is, I was saying yesterday, I wish I kind of had seen this yesterday before market close, because you can't buy options after hours, but I sent this after hours on my, by the way, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I post daily trading and finance content. So I said SMCI looks primed for another rally. I sent this out last night because I think that, like, if you look at the volume, you can see that the volume heavily declining on this. And that's what you want to see, right? You want to see huge buy volume on the way up and then declining volume on the way down. And then once it gets to, here I use the volume profile tool, right? And I could see that around this levels where the most volume was on the last rally. So it will likely bounce to 1,000 again, right? That's why last night I was looking at it and I'm like, holy shit, this looks good. So I think SMCI is going to get there. But make sure you're following me on Twitter and Instagram because I post about the stock market daily there. And then Celsius, man, we're going to get our Celsius shares called 81. We bought Celsius at $49 on December 12th. Here, December 12th. This is my thesis. And it was after the split, and we bought it at $49. And now it's 81. But I sold cover calls. I have leaps, but I sold some of those leaps before earnings, and I sold cover calls on my shares. So they are likely going to be taken away. But still, I'm happy that the thesis was right. Now, I think the same thing will happen to Walmart. So Walmart, I think, will suffer a 10 to 20% decline here after the split. And I think that after that happens, I will definitely be buying up some Walmart. This is like one of the easiest things you could do. And I've done videos about this. One of the easiest things you could do is buy stocks, blue chip stocks, after they split. So I want you to look at Amazon, right? I want you to look at Google. I want you to look at Tesla. I want you to look at Celsius, which is not a blue chip, but that was part of my thesis. Look at every time it splits. Idiots will jump into this and be like, it's split. I'm buying. Today's the day of the split. I'm buying it, right? Amazon, 20% tanking after the split. Tesla, right? What I'm saying is all backed by data, guys. I live and breathe this shit for you guys. Tesla, 15% drop after the split, right? Look at Alphabet or Google right after the split. 12% drop after the split, right? So Celsius had a 30% drop after the split. So I think WMT, it's not a growth stock. It's a value stock. It's a dividend paying value stock. So I don't expect it to drop as much. Oh, even Apple. Like, if you don't believe me, let's take a look at Apple. When did Apple last split? I remember it was during the pandemic sometime. So even Apple, right, dropped 25% after the split. This is just a sell the news event, and people buy it on the day of the split thinking they're doing something smart, thinking that the split actually means something. And the split is just a sell the news event, right? So WMT puts, yeah, Aaron, if you bought the puts on the day of the split, yes. Guys, hit that thumbs up for this free education. Hit it. But if you bought it on the day of the split, yeah, you would have been good. So I think that WMT will get probably I take that back. I would say 5 to 10% decline on WMT. And then it's time to buy it again. Fucking easy as hell. Look at SPY. Yeah, but I'm waiting for ES, which is the futures version of the S&P 500, to get here. ELF? What the hell is ELF? All right, I think... So that's 7 points from here. I want to see if I can catch a continuation up. I don't want to just fucking randomly long here. Hey, yeah, yeah. I mean, this is risky to take it from here, but let's see. I'm going to take a risky long from here. It's a 2-1, so it's not crazy. But let's see. It's, you're longing the highs, so it's a small position. I just took 2 contracts. If it works out, it'll be 8 times 5, 400. It'll be like just shy of $800. So let's see. And if we burst above this high, I'll move it to break even. But this right here is London high level. And we have a fair value gap here, right? And an order block. The only thing is, on a news day, this could impulsively come down and take one of these imbalances from down here, which would suck. But it's a very tight stop. It's 3.75 points for the stop. And I have a feeling that we might resolve one of these imbalances. Let's see. RTY. Oh my God, RTY is. Yeah, there was no way to catch us. What the fuck is it doing? What the hell? So you guys know that there were really only. Come on, I need this to push up a little more so I can move my stop to break even. All right, it's up 100, up 125, up 150. I can't move my stop just yet because it'll come back down and tag it, I think. I need it to get to, this is risk management, guys, but if I can get it to 1-to-1, if I can get it to 1-to-1, so right at this level here, 511,950, I'll move it to break even. So it's a 2-to-1 trade, but if I can get it to 1-to-1, then I'll move it to break even. But my stop is tight on purpose. My stop is tight on purpose. And if I get stopped out, I will likely take it again from down here. But I can't move my stop all the way down here because then I'm out of a 2-to-1 and this trade becomes out of whack. You feel me? But RTY, so there are only really a couple things I really like here. Tesla, Russell 2000, right? So IWM. And bonds. Right? That's the only thing I like here. And then, you throw in, it's really struggling to get above this level. Let's take it, let's get it cracking. Oh, I don't like ES's drop here. I mean, NQ's drop here. I need NQ to continue up too. I was up like 175 on the trade, but it's not enough for me to move to stop limit. Apple's selling. Nice. If we can get Apple, which I think will be a good AI play, if we can get Apple below, 160-ish, I think it'll be a steal. So NQ has London right there. If it can burst off of London high, then ES should push up to all-time high. So is this an A-plus trade? No, because I'm obviously longing in a premium. But my thesis is that ES's draw on liquidity is the all-time high level, which NQ already took, right? ES hasn't taken it. And right now, ES is basing at London high. My stop limit is very light. So again, 3.75 points, so nothing crazy. And this is a 2-to-1, so I'm okay with it. But, yeah, obviously it's not an A-plus trade. So if we can bounce off London, that'll give ES the push that it needs. There it is. 150, 175, 200. Let's go. So now I'm going to move my stop to break even. And if it gets taken, it gets taken, whatever. $0. 225. I could obviously book this. We need NQ to burst up here. Burst. We need NQ to get to around 18,196. And that'll give the motivation to ES. So 250 on the trade. 275, 325. Let's go. 350. Like I said, oh shit, I better set my stop limit. I mean, my take profit. So you can book close to $400 here. If you want. For me, I like to stick to my risk to reward if I have a clear draw. And I think the draw is last Friday's high. I might put it down a little bit. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to split this up. If I go to last Friday, Okay, so there's a high here. So I'm going to sell one there. And I'm going to sell the other one above that. All right, push up, bro. It's a risk-free trade on a Friday. Nothing feels better. I'm looking to bank almost $800 off of this trade. First contract will take off at 51.2150. Guys, give a thumbs up for this live freaking trade. You made it a free $400 if you booked it now. SPY and QQQ all-time high. 400, let's go. 51.2150 is my first take profit. And then my next one is 51.2350. And then my stop limit is at break even. So worst that can happen is that I make or break $0. $400, $425. Let's get to 5. In the risk-free trade with you? Hell yeah, Kathy. I mean, you guys can bank it now. It just goes against my rules based on where my stop limit was. So I cannot take profit early. As much as you have the impulse to, just make 600 on that trade. Hell yeah. Good job. And now we just sip coffee and let the magic happen. I can see why you do futures. SPY options didn't move much. Yeah, options are for the birds. $500, guys. Book it if you want. That's a free $500 for you to go have fun with this weekend. Go eat a steak dinner. Go snowboarding. I was scared and traded MES. I mean, that just speaks to you knowing your risk tolerance. It's not scared. If you traded MES, you did it for a reason. Come on, don't do this to me. No break even. Oh, you bitch. What's crazy is I can add a contract here. I won't. I'm going to break even on this goddamn trade. I'll move it there on the 1 minute because of all these imbalances and this consolidation. I can add a contract there to make it 3 for funds, but I won't. What else is up here? Ay, ay, ay. All right, let's check on RTY real quick. My SMCI is up 400. You're still in it? All right, that may have been all the imbalances that it needed. How many MES cons in one ES contract? There aren't any MES cons in ES. God damn it, I just hit break even. Boop, boop. Well, I'm glad some of you guys banked on that. I couldn't take profit because it didn't suit my profit target, but I mean it didn't suit my risk reward, but I'm glad you guys banked on that. ES and MES are completely different, bro. What you mean how many MES in one ES? MES is a tenth of ES. Oh, let me remove these orders here. Or else it's going to tag me. I'm still convinced that that ES is going up here, by the way. There's no way that it doesn't. So let's just put that out there. I might take another crack at it. But see, now I can see ES come down here to take more liquidity. So I'm not rushing to jump back in there. It was up 500. Again, small position for me, but doesn't meet my risk reward. So I wonder if ES comes back down here to grab this liquidity, right? But I have no doubt in my mind that we'll get to 51.2350 today. MES is a tenth of ES. So ES moves for every point, it moves up $50. MES moves $5. I don't know that it gets to that. Let me see, that 15-minute fair value gap. Yeah, it certainly could, because that's where OTE is too. Yes, it certainly could. So that's why I'm not rushing to get back into it. And that would actually make it even a bigger trade to get up there, honestly. What would that be on the SPY? You're going to get killed trying to trade the SPY, bro. Trying to trade the SPY up in this type of area for these small moves, you're going to get killed. Options day trading is for the birds, man. Because if you buy a SPY contract up here and it doesn't move, like even just on that small move, I was up 500 on ES, right? You would not be up 500 on SPY contracts. You would barely be up. I think we come down here and grab more liquidity before going back up. We have CFDs in the UK. Yeah, those are illegal. Thanks for the call, brother. Quick $500. Hell yeah, bro. CFDs are illegal in the US. Zero DTE? Bro, zero DTE is just, there's no strategy in that. It's just fucking gambling. and hoping. And sometimes it works out and you feel good. Most times it doesn't, and you feel like shit. Options are okay for multi-day, right? Like, say that you have a thesis that Tesla is going to go up in the next couple months. You know, it's fun. T Black, appreciate you, man. He won $500 and donated to St. Jude's. Appreciate you, man. You know, if you have a thesis, say that Tesla's going to go up in the next month, yes, you could buy call options. There's no other way to do it unless you just buy shares. But you know, you can't just in terms of like day trading, nothing will beat futures. It's too precise. Like, I can set up my risk to reward like this, and I know how much I'm gaining and how much I'm losing. When you're doing this with options, you have no idea. You buy it, and then it's down 20, 30, 40%, and you're like, okay, I guess I'll hold it. Hopefully turns green, though. And then the option might turn slightly green, and then you might take profit at 12%. Like, it's for the birds. There's no way that you can set up a risk to reward like this where I could tell you to the dollar how much I'll make or lose in a position. I'm sitting in cash waiting to deploy. Hopefully you weren't sitting in cash this whole time. If you were, then I'm not sure who you were listening to. Yes, cash secure puts is a good strategy. Hope it doesn't run from here. I would love for it to come back down and take some more liquidity. I hope it doesn't run from here. It could. It certainly could. Oh, yeah, especially since NQ hit that order block fair value gap combo. Oh, this was a great trade here. Excuse me. Fuck me. Well, like I said, I think ES is getting there. 51.2350. That's easiest call of the day. God damn it. I was stopped out for break even, guys. Still in? Hell yeah, Brooks. Good job. Holy shit, gold really killed it. The dollar must be dropping. Yeah. Listening to Z read chat sometimes is comical. Oh man. See, dug into that 15-minute. I couldn't take the trade from here though. Where I took it from, I liked it. And I can't remember what my original stop was. If I would have still been in the trade, if I didn't move it to break even. I can't remember what my initial stop is. Oh, I would have been in there. 5112. Yeah, I would have still been in. I might take this again. Fuck, guys. Bored? No, sorry. I was reading an email from someone. Something I got to do today, but look. Sometimes it's crazy to me that on our CPI FOMC live streams, we get a ton of viewers. Sometimes it's crazy to me that we only have 6, 7, 800 viewers at a time on this channel. Like, I don't know who else can tell you where the market is going. You missed your second entry because of YouTube? Maybe. I mean, yeah, I do, for sure, live streaming and trading sucks. I'm not going to, I'm not going to be shy about saying that. For sure, live trading and streaming sucks, for sure. But I enjoy it, and I enjoy teaching you guys. But where else were you going to get, calls to that level of accuracy? I told you the exact place that the S&P is going to. 5123.50. That's where it's going to. There's a re-entry here. Actually would be so, it's not going to get there, but would be so sweet if it got down here. This is the only I don't think it's coming down here, but it would be really the only way that I could take it. So I'm going to set up the orders anyway. If it comes down here, that would be a gift. I personally think it's a low probability, but I'll set up the orders anyway. Can we ask Z? Have one? Have one what? So for those of you that are new, this is what we do every single day. So when I'm not streaming on YouTube, I'm in the Discord streaming, and generally calling out each of these plays. Do you mean Zoom or you stream in Discord? Yeah, no, I send out a Zoom link every single day. Thanks, Z, for the trade. Hell yeah, man. I hope you made money. This is so ugly here if you look at anything 5 minute and up. Ay, ay, ay. But yeah, this is what we do every day. Imagine being able to wake up and get the exact market direction every single day. Like what would you pay for that? What would you pay for that? London session is really good, bro. Yeah. If you're in the UK, London session is really good. Yeah, this ain't coming down here. What would I pay? Nothing, because I'm already in lifetime and it was worth every penny. Yeah, guys, memberships are back open, by the way. I do a horrible job of announcing this, but memberships are back open. Click the link in the description. Both the monthly and the lifetimes are back open. I'm just monitoring price here to see how it gets there, but I know it's getting there. Oh, you know what would be sick? This is what would be sick is these equal highs here. If we came down, again, it's low probability. I might set this up again. If we came down, took interim liquidity, and then obliterated these highs to get here. Oh, never mind. We just took those highs. Haha. See, like, when I told you we were getting here, be honest. How many of you believe me? How many of you believe me? Like, it seems like sorcery. It seemed like sorcery, but I told you that that's the level we were going to. Why don't you trade NQ instead of ES? Because I'm looking at ES. It's like saying, why don't why aren't you trading Pokemon cards when you want to trade basketball cards? Like, it's not. I'm playing ES based off of what NQ already did. You know what I mean? But I told you 51, 23, 50 is where we're going to, right? On the SPY, I told you that it was 510 and change. On SPX, 51.15. Like, this stuff is easy. No option for lifetime? Yeah. You don't see the option in there for lifetime? So this is what I'm saying is, what would you pay every day for that type of accuracy where I'm telling you where the market is going to go? There should be something in there for lifetime. Yeah. It's the just click on that same link where it says Academy monthly memberships are back. Here, I'll actually send it to you. I'll put it in the thing. But you said options are for the birds? Yeah. What aside from me? What did I say that contradicted that? I'm not talking about options here. I'm talking about futures. How about Tesla? I don't care so much about equities. As I do indices. Use that code discount too. If you want the lifetime. Otherwise, use the code SPRING99. Just playing with the options for monthly subs. But you said options are for the birds? Oh. I'm not sure, man. You're saying the word options too many times, John. Ay, ay, ay. All right. Well, that was an easy call out. All right, guys. Why Top Step over Apex? I don't know. This promo code can't be used for this pricing option. Dude. That code is for the lifetime, like the mastermind lifetime. The code for the monthly is this. Here, I'll paste it to the chat, okay? Monthly code Spring 99. Mastermind code discount 2. There. Better? All right, guys. I'm taking this to the Discord and will likely find another easy trade later on. Hopefully we get delivered a pretty easy day. I think we're just going to, I don't know. We'll see what happens later. But hopefully we find a silver PM bullet trade, a PM silver bullet trade. Glad you guys made money. And off to the next trade. What about Tesla? Yeah, this is not tradable. This is not tradable. All right, guys. I'll talk to you in the Discord. Thank you for joining. Peace. Oh, shit. This Sunday is the Mastermind 5.0 kicks off this Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So excited to see you guys there. For those of you that signed up, I will see you guys Sunday, March 3rd, 7 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be going over exactly how I do technical analysis on my chart without indicators, how I find my entry models, how I do what I just showed you in real time. So I will see you guys on Sunday. And if you want to join, make sure you sign up to the mastermind before Sunday. you'll see it in the pinned comment here on YouTube. It will get you in the class before Sunday. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on Sunday. Stay safe out there, traders. Peace. Leave a thumbs up on your way out.